For the next 5 days, I'm surviving on nothing but the Lidl High Protein rave. So let's head to Lidl and stock up. We're starting off strong with some delicious high protein yogurts, chuck them straight in the basket, and then we're moving on to what will make up the bulk of my meals, these frozen ready meals. Luckily, there's quite a big selection, and with it being Lidl, of course, I can't leave without a brushless grinder. We chuck that all into the basket, head on over to the self-checkout till. This is the total we paid, grinder not included. That to me is not so bad. So there are the results of that weighing, and believe it or not, that is not even the fattest I've ever been, but we are getting a bit too close to comfort, so this challenge has come at the right time. Let's get some pounds off. For the morning of day 1 of the challenge, we're keeping things nice and simple, and I'm just having some of these delicious protein yogurts for breakfast. And really, it's not a bad way to start the day. On top of the yogurts, I'm also taking a multivitamin just to make sure I'm topping myself up with everything that I could possibly need. The day 1 lunch is largely the same. While I'm still trying to get used to this challenge, I'm just trying to keep things nice and simple. So I've got a delicious strawberry yogurt for lunch, and it's not too bad. But now it's time for So it's time to pick tonight's meal from the spinning dinner wheel. I've got 1800 calories, so we've got 3. We've got teriyaki chicken, salt and pepper chicken, and a katsu curry. I figured those 3 are sort of, they go together quite well. It's like an Asian style dinner, I guess. Chuck them in the oven, make sure they're piping hot, they certainly are, and then it's time to tuck in. Being 140 odd kilograms, this amount of food was not that unusual for me, but this amount of processed food certainly was. I am trying to stick to 1800 calories a day, and the only way to do that today was to eat 3 meals for dinner, and it's something that I'm not going to repeat. Overall though, all these are pretty tasty, apart from the katsu, not a fan. It's the morning of day 2. I do feel a little bit better than when I was in bed last night, but still a little bit of discomfort. We're going to have a quick little weigh-in and see what the results are for the first day. So there's the day 2 morning weigh-in results. Obviously not going to see a huge amount of changes after just a day, but I'm going to do this every morning just to keep a little tracker as hopefully things go down. Now it's time for breakfast. Breakfast on day 2, I'm keeping things nice and light with this delicious tropical yogurt. I think it's actually one of my favourites now. But we're determined not to repeat the same mistakes of day number 1. So for lunch, we're actually going to pick out some meals. And picking through what we've got, I figured that a nice inoffensive penne bolognese was probably the best choice for day 2. That's everything packed up in the bag, and then we're off to work. Of course, there are no big ovens at work, so this penne bolognese went straight into the microwave, and I don't think even an oven could have saved this one. Visually, about as appealing as a plate of God knows what, but taste-wise, yeah, I was right, perfectly inoffensive. Nice little squish of a tomato there. I am pretty glad that I packed the nice strawberry yogurt to act as a bit of a dessert. So overall, not a terrible lunch, but certainly one I don't want to risk. It's 6 o'clock, I'm now home from work, and man, I'm still not happy about that lunch, but I've got a nice dinner hopefully planned, but before I can tuck in, we have to work out. We're going to go get myself changed, ready for a run. Remember, the point of this challenge isn't whether or not we're going to lose weight. We're in a deficit, so that's to be expected. The challenge is, can I still do my day-to-day activities, get my exercise done without any real negative effects? So let's tune in and see how run number 1 went. So that is the run done for the night. I did feel quite low energy. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'll come out here after a work day, like fasted basically. I don't eat breakfast or lunch. But I think having the breakfast and lunch today, obviously your glucose and insulin are spiking. I feel hungry, and I feel like I don't know, I don't feel as energized as I usually am to get out here. And finally we're back, and it's time for dinner number 2. I've picked out the naked burrito and the chipotle pulled pork for a little bit of a Mexican vibe. On the plate, it doesn't look too bad. We just slung this in the microwave because I am hungry. Let's sit down in it. Whether it was just a case of me being absolutely starving or not, I don't know. But these 2 meals were delicious. I think the naked burrito has got to be my new favourite. However, with day 2 done, we've only got 2 meals left and 2 yogurts. So it's back to Lidl to stock. That's it, we come back to Lidl for 2 reasons. 1, I need more food, need to stock up. And 2, tomorrow I have a chance to have a pretty nice breakfast. And to be honest with you, I don't really fancy wasting an opportunity on just a yogurt, so let's get something nice. If my maths is correct, I've still got about 210 calories to use up, and I think I've found what we're going to have. Little cheesecakes, reduced 207 calories per. Perfect. I haven't actually found what I'm specifically looking for just yet, but I'm sure it's just down here. This is it. I found it. Breakfast wrap. This is either going to be really nice or disgusting. There's no like middle ground, but I'm sure it's going to be a better breakfast for tomorrow than a yogurt. So we actually got every single one of these meals on the first run, but we didn't get any of these. These are pasta bowls. Cajun chicken, 51 grams of protein, look. Meat feast. Yeah, that's some of these. So there we are, we've got the bag of bits and bobs. And I think because there's such a big variety of these meals, I've not really had any cravings for stuff just yet. There was someone doing a barbecue when I was coming back from the run, and that kicked off a bit of a craving, the old barbecue smell, but so far we're doing all right. I feel like I might have got too much, but I just want to like try everything. I've got 2 of these just to taste a really nice chicken tikka wrap, 1 of each of the different flavour yogurts, and 1 of each flavour of these big old bowls. This is my treat for tonight. That's still not bad. Right, back home, fridge is all nice and stocked up now. That feels a lot better. Let's check out these little cheesecakes. Huh. Of course, I've got there 1, so that goes in the fridge for hopefully tomorrow. Okay. The morning of day number 3, fresh out the shower, ready to hit the scales and see what's going on. I do feel good today. So there is the stats from this morning's weigh-in, and that's quite a considerable change from yesterday. We're dropping a lot of weight. I guess it's just like the stuff flushing out finally, because of course before this I was eating way more. And I think so far we're doing quite well. It helps there's a lot of variety, but I would love just a normal ham sandwich. I can't lie. But now it's time to try breakfast. But before I could tuck into my breakfast, it was time to go out to the garden to make sure all of the flowers and the vegetables and of course all the pigeons had their breakfast first. There was a moment where I was staring at a lovely green fresh lettuce for just a few seconds too long. Maybe all this processed food is finally getting to me after. But now it's time for my breakfast, so we're going to shove aside the chicken tikka wrap and grab hold of the breakfast wrap from Lidl. Chuck her in the microwave, hope for the best, fingers crossed. This breakfast wrap is 515 calories. This is by far the most calorific thing I've eaten so far. I mean, that chicken tikka masala is about 400. What is in this thing? Obviously, I'm going to use a knife and fork because it's about 100 degrees. Oh, look. There's actually like a bit of sausage in there. Oh, hot. No, that is the sausage you get on aeroplanes. It's got that very distinctive taste. If you fly somewhere regularly, you'll know that sausage. It just seems an awful waste of 500 plus calories. We're actually going to cut back to dinner time. It is now 5:15 and I'm hungry, ready for dinner. I felt so cheated, so swindled, so conned by that absolutely dreadfully disappointing breakfast wrap that I thought, I'm not going to bother having lunch. I'm just going to save it up, so to speak, and have a lovely dinner. And what I've got in front of me tonight is the chicken tikka masala, and I'm excited about this, the meat feast pasta. The chicken tikka masala, I think, might be my new favourite. I have to try the meat feast pasta, even though with that salt and saturates, it could well be my last. So we've got... Oh. Did you hear that? That's not how meatballs should sound. They're like crispy against the fork. So we've got some pepperoni in there, looks like some beef, a meatball, pasta and sauce. Give it a whirl. It's not the worst thing I've ever eaten. But it's close, passable. But that, avoid that, but buy that. Here we are, morning of day 4. Oh man, I'm tired. That was tough. I don't want to blame the meat pasta, but there is not an ounce of moisture in my body. So there is day number 4's weigh-in results. No real huge changes. Wouldn't really expect there to be honest, but I'm not feeling great today, so maybe that's a contributing factor. Let's sort some breakfast out. This is the day's sustenance. This is going to be breakfast, which I'm not going to drink now because I'm still very bloated, and the thought of a high protein yogurt drink right now is just abhorrent. This is going to be lunch. It was either this or the chicken tikka wrap, which just seemed a bit of a wild choice for lunch, so I'm not going to... I'll eat the mac and cheese with pulled pork. Hopefully that's reasonable enough, and I quite liked the combo of the yogurt for afters. So this is going to be our lunch today, and I have the other big pasta pot tonight for dinner, and we'll do something with that chicken wrap, I'm sure. So just arrived at work way too early, but I had to go to Tesco and get some bits. Nothing interesting, just adult bits, you know, toothpaste and all the boring stuff. But that was a real test, because usually when I go to Tesco, certainly in the mornings, I would usually leave with a meal deal or two, but I didn't this time. I've got my nice high protein kefir strawberry drink with 20 grams of protein. So I'm hoping now, you know, I still feel a little bit rough, but it's better than trying to choke this down at 5 in the morning. So let's give it a go. That is actually really nice. It's like, obviously a strawberry, but there's like a tang to the yogurt. Maybe that's the difference between kefir and like yogurt, but that's good. I thought I caught a weird smell then, but it must just be something else. Maybe it's this stinky old car. That's nice. So I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll check back in at lunchtime. Pulled pork is tasty. Pasta is ready meal pasta. Overall, that's not terrible. I mean, that in my mind is a pretty good lunch. Nice pulled pork, mac and cheese, and a yogurt to finish. We could be doing a lot worse. It's 6:30. I have made it home, and let me tell you, I would love nothing more than to just sit on the sofa and relax. But we can't. I need to go for a run, because that is the key part of the challenge is, can I continue my normal activities on this diet? I am exhausted. Man, it's been a day, but we're going to quickly go and do our runner plan and then sort out some food. I mean, speaking of though, I feel I may have underbought. We've only got this chicken pasta left, chicken tikka wrap, breakfast wrap, and I have these 3 high protein drinks and the high protein yogurt. So we'll have dinner tonight, but tomorrow might be a bit liquidy. But before I worry about any of that, let's get this run done. It's a great night for it. Check out this field. Going up to the forest again. How wonderful is this? It is warm though. And we are back. And according to my quick maths, I've got about 1,000 calories to play with. So let's check out what I'm going to eat. Oh no, look, gutting. This Cajun chicken pasta is 507. And the tikka wrap is 500 and... what is it? 546. Oh. Give the wrap a test. Oh yeah, you ready? Yeah, pasta's looking sufficiently nuked as well. So here we go. This is tonight's dinner. I have Cajun chicken pasta and a chicken tikka wrap again. But, I mean, that's not a bad thing. You know, spicy tomato isn't quite watery. But it feels good to have some green. I mean, these meals haven't been bad in terms of like veg. They've been okay. It's not been a total beige buffet. Exactly like the filling of a samosa. That's what this is. This is a big cylindrical samosa. And that was no bad thing. Here it is, the morning of day number 5. It's Friday. Feeling okay. A little bit of bloat, but you know, it'll pass. There we go, so there is the figures compared to yesterday. So we're chugging along in generally the right direction. Again, no big shock because we're in quite an aggressive deficit. So that's just good to see how I feel myself. Shattered, absolutely shattered. And I'm going to have to go Lidl because I'll tell you in a minute. This is all I've got left to get me through today. I've got the breakfast wrap, which is disgusting, but it might, you know, I couldn't bear the... So this is all I've got left of the high protein range. We're going to have the breakfast wrap now. I'm going to just choke it down because I couldn't bear the embarrassment of taking such a ghastly item to work. So that's in the microwave currently. We've got 3 of these drinks and a tasty little yogurt, so it'll be quite a liquid lunch. One thing I don't really get, right? Maybe I've stumbled on a bit of a conspiracy here, but you can see all these high protein drinks. But so that is basically going to be my lunch today. A lot of dairy. In late. Oh, it's just... no one said it'd be easy. Do a quick taste test. Yep, we're back in the car for lunchtime because I've got what could be a bit of a mistake. We've got the high protein chocolate drink, the high protein banana drink, which has got a very, very strange amount of calories in it, more on that later, and vanilla drink, and the peach yogurt. I'm going to save this for last because I know it's good, so we'll save that. The banana drink, so obviously we've got to try the banana one first. Let's see if it's worth those 200 odd calories. I mean, I like banana milkshake, so yeah. Not gonna lie, it tastes like basically every banana protein shake ever. This is vanilla. I thought this would be like a bit of a control. Oh, that's way better. It's like an ice cream shake. That's beautiful. Chocolate one, bit of a wild card. I don't really like chocolatey stuff too much. I don't really like chocolate milkshakes, but you never know. Hopefully this one might be good. Not bad. It's got a sort of gritty granularity to it that some of the cheaper shakes have, so not my favourite. Here I am, back again at this shop for the last time. Got my bag and we're ready to go and get some dinner. This is the fridge. And to be fair, no process. Got some of that. So this is in the freezer section. We've got chicken pasta, salmon risotto, Thai style curry, Korean style chicken, and pizza. Which I'd found these before. I don't know what to get. We've got about 1,000 calories per hour. I could get a high protein pizza and one of these. Half a pizza is 338, which would leave a little bit of wiggle room for a portion of that. And I guess we can just leave it in the freezer, so alright, done. You know, it's actually mad. It's the last day of the challenge and I've just found all of this not frozen stuff. So that is pizza and the vaguely green curry. Not terrible. To be honest with you, it is so hot today. It's like 30 degrees. I don't even want to eat anything, man. It's 7:30. The oven's preheating. give me a minute. So I've actually got my maths wrong. I've got enough to eat this pizza, but not enough calories really to have anything sort of meaningful from that. Yeah, fine. High protein pizza it is. Here it is. We've made it. It's the dinner on the last full day of the challenge. I've got that meaty barbecue pizza. In fact, I'm not going to win Michelin stars, but that is very inoffensively a frozen pizza. So pending the final weighing results tomorrow, I think we've certainly finished on a high. Overall, I feel fine. The variation helped so much. If I'd found those fresher meals, I'd have been a lot happier, but hey, we got through it. I was able to keep up with my training. You know, I was able to crack on at work. There was nothing detrimental about this diet. We restricted down to there or thereabouts 1,800 calories a day. And you've seen progress from that so far. So overall, I think I could go longer. Here it is, Saturday morning, final morning of the challenge. But before I step on the scales and do the final weigh-in, we need to go out for a little run because it's going to be warm today. I'm going to get out early. It's currently 7 AM, so still nice and early. Whew. This is just what we need to start the weekend off properly. And how nice is that? I feel like Russell Crowe going through the cornfield. Beautiful. That was much needed. Just a quick little half hour just to blow the rust off. Now let's get back and sort myself out. So this is it. This is the final morning, the final weigh-in of the challenge. And physical, yeah, I mean, well, we're definitely down, as you said. I don't particularly feeling different. Not really picking up any differences visually, but the scales are the final truth. So let's jump on them and see what they say. So here we go. These are the stats compared to yesterday, and we've had some big movers. There's a lot different on there, but we need to do a full breakdown analysis from the very start of the challenge. And remember, this wasn't about weight loss. This was about how I would find it. So there's one thing that's been on my mind since the day we started. It's something that I love dearly and I just cannot wait. So cut to me for the breakdown. So I've come here to the Toby Carvery for breakfast, and if you're overweight and British, this is basically Disneyland. Let's get it. There are the stats from this morning compared to when we first started the challenge, and yeah, I mean almost 4 kg down. A lot of that will be, you know, water, glycogen, things like that, but if you look, 0.5% body fat reduction, so I'm pretty pleased. So that's a really good result. But remember, the challenge wasn't lose weight. The challenge was how do I feel? And I feel good. I feel okay. A little bit tired. Very, very sick of microwave meals. But I reckon now I've found the freshest stuff and the pizzas and the bag and all that sort of stuff. We could go longer. I'm not going to, but we could go longer. So that was maybe a little bit of an unusual experience for me, because I was fully expecting to go in there and eat that plate, a second one, and then maybe even a third. But after that first one, I was just done. Like, it wasn't brilliant, but Toby isn't, and you don't expect it to be. But maybe that's an effect of this whole week of eating way less. Because I'm stuffed after one plate. And for a 22 stone man, that's not bad going. But anyway, this was a really interesting video. Would I be the same eating 800 calories of healthier food like chicken and rice and veg compared to 800 calories of processed food? Would the training be the same? Mentally, I'm fine. That feels like a good experiment, but let me know what we do next, and I'll see you in the next one.